Hello friends! Continuing our series of instructional videos on iMASTER brand inverters, today we're going to talk about the iMASTER C1 inverter. Here you can see the power terminals of the iMASTER C1 inverter. Terminals R, S, and T are for the inverter's three-phase input, and terminals U, V, and W are for the inverter's output, which connects to our electric motor. Terminals P plus and N are for the inverter's DC link. And terminals P plus and RB are for connecting the braking resistor to the inverter. So now you're familiar with the power terminals of the iMASTER C1 inverter. Here you can see the keypad of the C1 inverter. There's a dial located on the keypad. If you want to adjust or change the inverter's frequency output, you can simply use this dial to carefully change the frequency value and set the output frequency. You can clearly see the function key located right here on the panel. If you want to access the various parameter groups that are available within the C1 inverter, you must make use of the function key in order to enter and navigate into these groups. And if you wish to access or modify a specific parameter that is located within any of these groups, you will need to use the function key once again to do so. Additionally, you can observe the S, T, and R keys. The store key, which is labeled as store, is specifically used to save or retain the value of a parameter after you have made any changes. This ensures that your adjustments are kept and not lost. If you want to change a parameter's value in one of the groups, and you want to make sure that the new value is saved, you must use the STR key. This is important to ensure your changes are stored. You can see the up and down keys, or the up and down joysticks. To navigate between parameters in a group, you can use these up and down keys. Or if you want to change the value of a parameter, you can also use the up and down keys. You can see the run and stop keys. If you want to issue start and stop commands through the inverter's keypad, you can use the run key to start it and the stop key to stop it. Also, if you see an error on the inverter, you can use this red button or reset to clear that error. So that was an introduction to the C1 inverter's keypad, but in this tutorial video, we are going to set the inverter's frequency reference to the keypad for convenient frequency adjustment, and we will also set the start-stop reference, also known as our command source, via the keypad. This means we will use those familiar red and green buttons to start and stop the inverter. Now, if you want to enter the frequency value using the keypad on an iMASTER brand C1 inverter, simply follow along with the instructions in this video. You'll need to enter parameter group A and set the first parameter, A01, to the number 2. By setting this parameter to 2, you've successfully set your frequency reference to the keypad. But once it's set to the keypad, where do you actually input the value? Where do you enter the frequency? It's in parameter F01. So enter parameter group F and input your desired frequency value into parameter number 1. So that's the frequency reference. Now, for the inverter start-stop, if you want to use the green and red buttons built into the keypad to start and stop the inverter. This time you'll need to enter parameter group A and set parameter number 2 to 0. If you set it to 0, your command source has set to the inverter's keypad. However, if you start the inverter from the keypad and the rotation is opposite to what you need, you'll have to change the rotation direction in parameter F04. In this tutorial, we want both our start-stop reference and our frequency reference to be set to the keypad. We mentioned parameter. A 02 for start-stop is set to 0, and a 01 for the frequency reference is set to 2. There's one more parameter we need to configure, and that's the maximum frequency. We'll set the max frequency value in A04, and then adjust the command frequency in parameter F01. Let's take all the sayings we've learned, apply them to the C1 inverter, and test out this feature together. Okay, here you can see the iMASTER brand C1 inverter. The three-phase input for this inverter As we mentioned, our terminals are S and T. We connect our three-phase power input to the terminals. We connect R, S, and T, the RB and PD terminals, as we said, are for connecting the braking resistor up to 22 kilowatts to the inverter. And the P plus and the N terminals are for the DC link of the C1 inverter. The U, V, and W terminals are the output of this inverter, which connects to our electric motor. Okay, how to work with the keypad of this inverter. We said if we want to enter the parameter groups of this inverter, we press the function key. We've now entered parameter group D. If we want to move between the parameter groups of this inverter, we can do that using the up and down keys. Now, parameter group U, parameter group D, parameter group H, parameter group C, and parameter group B. And similarly, we can move between other groups. So to enter a parameter group, first, we use the function key. Now, I want to enter parameter 6 of group D. Again, to enter a parameter within a group, we can use the function key. When we press the function key, we enter this parameter. Again, to save it, we use the STR key. So it's the function key to go to parameter groups, the up and down keys to move between parameter groups, and the function key to enter a parameter within a parameter group. And to save the value that we've set, we use the STR key. The green key is for starting the inverter when we want to do it from the keypad, and the red key is for stopping the inverter from the keypad. A knob is also provided here, which we said can adjust the inverter's output frequency through. This knob, well, in this tutorial video, we said we want our frequency reference to be from the keypad, and also to perform our start-stop using the buttons on the keypad itself. For the frequency reference, we said we must enter parameter group A. Parameter number 1. I'll enter this grow. Parameter number 1. Again, I'll enter it with the function key. We said if we want to do this from the keypad, parameter number 1 of group A must be set to 2. We set it to 2 and press the STR key to save it. For start stop, from the keypad, we also said we must enter parameter number 2. And set it to 0. If we set it to 0, our start and stop control will be through these two green and red buttons. I'll save it with the STR key and exit the parameter. Okay, now where should we enter our frequency command value? For the frequency command, we need to enter parameter group A. We enter parameter number 1, and we give it the frequency command value. Now I'll set it to 40, for example. I press STR, and it's saved. Alright, the maximum frequency parameter, as we mentioned, is in group A. I'm entering parameter group A. In parameter number 4, we set the maximum frequency. You can see the maximum frequency is set to 60 here, and I'll go ahead and save that. Going back now. Now, if I want to view the inverter's output frequency, I need to go to parameter D in group D. I'll enter it to monitor the output frequency value. Okay, now if I press the start button, the inverter starts my motor at 40 Hz. I'll press start. See, the electric motor has started. At the frequency I set in parameter, F01, which is 40 Hz. Now, if the rotation direction on the C1 inverter, when starting and stopping from the keypad, is opposite to what we want, we can go to parameter 4 and group F to fix this and change the rotation direction. I'll stop the inverter now. The rotation was forward just now. To reverse it, I'm entering parameter group F. In parameter number 4, it's currently at 0. If we set it to 1, the rotation will be reversed. I'll save that. Going back to parameter number 1, in group D, to monitor the output frequency value. Now, if I start it, you'll see the rotation direction has changed. I'll press the stop button again, so the inverter will stop the motor for demonstration purposes. So, in this tutorial, we learned how to wire the power terminals of the C1 inverter. And we also learned how to operate the inverter's keypad. And we also learned how we should use the keypad to set the frequency on the C1 inverter and perform start and stop from the keypad of this inverter.